everyone. Today I am here with poem number 11 from class 10, For Anne Gregory by W.B. Yeats. Now this poem is a dialogue between poet and Anne Gregory. This poem is divided into 3 stanzas. First stanza is spoken by a young man. Second is by Anne Gregory, to whom this poem is addressed. And third stanza is by the same person who is actually speaking in stanza 1. So let's look at the stanzas and see what the poet is trying to tell Anne Gregory. Never shall a young man thrown into despair by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. So here the poet is trying to tell Anne Gregory that it will never happen that a young man will be thrown into despair. Despair means disappointment, a condition of hopelessness. So this will never happen that a young man will become disappointed by those great honey-colored ramparts at your ear. So these ramparts mean the hair. Honey-colored means yellowish brown color hair. So here the poet is trying to say that a young man will not get disappointed by those great honey-colored hair which are like ramparts. Rampart means a wall around a fort. So here her hair is just like a wall around her beautiful face. So the poet is trying to say that a young man will never be disappointed just because he loves you for your honey-colored hair. He will get attracted by your physical beauty. He can never love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. So it is not possible that he will love you for only your own self, your inner self. Certainly, he will look at your yellow hair or your outer beauty. So here in the first stanza, the poet is trying to tell Anne Gregory that no young man will fall into love by looking at your inner beauty. That person will certainly look at your great, beautiful, yellowish brown hair which fall at your ears. And he says that your physical appearance matters for a young man. He cannot love you for what you are from inside. Now Anne Gregory, she gives a reply to the poet's argument. Now she gives a reply. She says, but I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. Now, Anne Gregory's perception of love is different. She says that her physical appearance she can change. She can get a hair dye, she can change the color of her hair, she can make it brown or black or carrot color, so that young men will not get disappointed because of her yellow hair, but they will love her for what she is. So she wants the young men to love her for her inner beauty and not her yellow hair, not her physical appearance. Now, poet is trying to convince her that it is not possible. Let's look at the third stanza. I heard an old religious man but yesternight declare that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear, could love you for yourself alone and not your yellow hair. So here the poet is saying that I've heard an old man, a very religious man, yesternight means the previous night declare, or I have heard this old man tell him night before that he has found a text. Here this text can be Bible. So he had found a text because in Bible it is mentioned that only God can love us for what we are. So in Bible it is mentioned that God does not look at the physical appearance. He looks at the heart. And that is why he's saying that he has heard an old religious man declare this, tell him that He has found a text to prove that only God, my dear, this is a salutation to Anne Gregory, could love you for yourself alone. Only God can do this and not your yellow hair. So here God only can love her for her inner beauty, and God does not look at the outer appearance. So he's trying to convince Anne Gregory that for human beings it is not possible to love someone for their inner self only. Everybody will look at the physical appearance and then later on might look at the inner beauty. But Anne Gregory, she wants a kind of love which is pure. She doesn't want the superficial understanding of beauty. She wants young men to love her and to look at her heart. Now, if you look at the rhyme scheme, let's underline the last words first. Now, man, call it A, despair B, since it doesn't match with man. Colored doesn't match with man, despair, so we'll call it C. Ear, despair, it matches, so B. And alone doesn't match with any of them, so we'll call it D. And hair, air, despair, so we'll call it B. So rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B, D, B. And same with other stanzas. Let's also look at poetic devices mentioned in For Anne Gregory. First, there is a metaphor. Her hair are actually compared to ramparts, that means the outer walls of a castle or a fort. Second is repetition. In the whole poem, there is repetition of yellow hair and word despair. It is coming again and again in the poem. So it is repetition. Third is anaphora. Anaphora is repetition of a word or phrase in the beginning of the sentence. For example, here these two sentences start with that he had found a text to prove, that only God, my dear. So this is anaphora. Fourth is alliteration. It is repetition of initial sound in words. For example, set, such, your yellow, you for yourself, me for myself. So for, since it is a preposition, we can take it as alliteration. You for yourself, me for myself. Next is enjambment. Enjambment is sudden shift of a thought to the next line without a punctuation mark. For example, but yesternight declare that he had. So here there is no pause, comma or full stop, and the thought moves on to the next line. This poem also has apostrophe. Apostrophe is when a poem is addressed to maybe a person, an object, or maybe a thing. For example, this poem is addressed to Anne Gregory. So the poetic device is apostrophe. I hope you like the explanation. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you for your love and support.